commonly, like myself in the past, I would go pop some Advil and hope it goes away, right? Well, unfortunately, all too often, lower back pain and headache will come back in full swing once the epidural and painkillers wear off. And with that said, there must be a more effective way to heal the body. But how? So we need to look past the surface. When it comes down to your health, you have to really think outside the box. You need to look past the surface symptoms and realize that healing comes from within. You know, I know it sounds tacky, but it really is true. It comes from within you. No matter what the symptom what symptoms someone may have, there must be a more comprehensive approach to healing. Treating the symptom only addresses the underlying issue, or does not address the underlying issue in any way. It's almost similar to like when you go out in the backyard and you trim the weeds. If you just trim the weeds are going to grow back. Maybe not right away, but they will over time. However, if you get rid of the weeds for good, you must pull them up by the roots, right? So, the trick to healing, one of the tricks to healing from the inside out is to find the root cause, whether it's lower back pain, chronic headaches, anxiety, menopause, or whatever the case may be. Symptoms are often misleading. It's almost like when you have a headache, but really it's your shoulder pain that's causing the headache. So the symptoms really could be misleading. You need to look for the solution, not the symptom. Further, understand one concept. If you get anything out of today, one concept I want you to get is that the body can heal itself. If you work to treat the root problem, the body will take care of itself naturally. Now, I will reveal a few effective ways to boost your body's natural ability to heal itself from the inside out. First, you really need to balance the nervous system. In our world today, it's safe to say that most people are symptomatic dominant, right? We look at, oh my gosh, I have a headache, or oh my gosh, I have back pain, or oh my gosh, my knee hurts. You look at what is what hurts, right? That's what symptomatic means. Well, in the body, there's an intricate network called the central nervous system, comprised of the brain and the spinal cord. There are two moving parts to this nervous system. There's the symptomatic and the parasympathetic nervous systems. Basically, they're opposite. So when you're in a relaxed state, you are engaging in the parasympathetic nervous system. And in regards to healing, this is exactly what you want. When you're in this state, the body dilates blood vessels and releases pain-killing endorphins to aid and promote and speed up the healing process. On the flip side, if you're constantly stressed, symptomatic nervous system will trigger a cascade of stress responses in the body, and that's not good for healing. Have you ever noticed when you're stressed out, your shoulders go up to your ears and you're stressed, your body's tight? That's what making everything in your body not function correctly. So when the body and the mind are calm, it's similar to stepping on the brake. You're creating a space and time for your body to heal. So another way to help your body continue to heal itself, this is something I didn't know too much about until I really started to investigate it in my own body. and that was to boost adrenal function. I didn't realize that, drinking caffeine and not eating properly would affect those parts of my body. And the adrenal glands, which is part of the endocrine system, are located above the kidneys. And have you ever had back pain and, above your under your ribs? Those are your adrenal glands. And when they're overworked, they can hurt. They're thumb-sized organs that secrete over 50 different hormones throughout the entire body matrix. And that I didn't know until I started trying to figure out what this pain in my back was on my journey to wellness. And these adrenal glands are truly vital for dealing with day-to-day stressors. In our world, many people have adrenal fatigue and don't even know it, and I was one of them. According to the book, Adrenal Fatigue, a 21st Century Stress Syndrome, it has been estimated that over 80% of the total population on Earth has adrenal insufficiency. Wow. Now I know I'm not alone, right? I had no idea. So to boost healing, you need to heal these two tiny little thumb-sized glands. As long as one is under constant stress, the adrenal glands will not stand a chance and they won't work properly. Overtaxing the adrenals will secrete excess regulatory hormones and will cause havoc on other body systems. So when more hormones are secreted, our body gets out of whack. So for this reason, stay away from anything that overstimulates you, such as too much caffeine, sugars, hydrated oils, stress. Those are things to stay away from. A way to stay away from stress, I'm just going to throw one of the things that I do every day is meditate, even if it's for 5 minutes a day. You take time out and you just concentrate on your breathing. That will start your day off in a brand new way. Even if you're laying in bed, you just wake up, your alarm goes off, instead of going, oh, I got to get up, which is what I used to do, you can actually just sit there for 5 minutes and just listen to yourself breathe. You will be amazed at how that little 5 minutes will shift your day and help your adrenal glands function better. Now, we all have several organs in our body that help our bodies work properly, right? So we need to make sure that all of those organs are in harmony. So from the perspective of traditional Chinese medicine, as I'm going to refer to as TCM, an imbalance of one or more of these organs may cause disharmony or havoc in the whole body. So in traditional Chinese medicine, the 5 main organs are also known as the 5 friends, right? The heart, the spleen, the lungs, the kidneys, and the liver. In many ways, these organs are not only vital to healing, but they also share an intrinsic relationship with each other. Think of it like this. I'm going to give you an example. Imagine you have 4 annoying college roommates. At times, you'll bump heads and you'll argue. This is unavoidable, right? But to stay friends, all 5 of you need to learn to get along and to share. Didn't our parents always tell us, you need to share? Well, it happens with our organs as well. Comparatively, if an organ is off, the others will follow suit. Therefore, maintaining a healthy friendship between the 5 internal organs is a must when promoting balance. When the organs are all in harmony, healing is cranked up a notch. It's actually cranked up 1,000% when everything is working synergistically. And all of this information so far that I have stated is come to you from thetruthaboutcancer.com. So, now to get into the good stuff. So that was about how your body can heal itself and how your body can start to generate new functions, and you learned a little bit about how all of that works, right? So now we're going to talk about hemp and cannabis and what all of that is. So a little bit about hemp and some facts. And one of the things that's really big is that hemp will not get you high. It won't get you stoned or make any psychoactive things with your brain. It doesn't do that, okay? Properly cultivated and harvested hemp products are legal in all 50 states. Hemp is thought to be the first domestically cultivated plant. That was something I didn't know. So that was some really cool information that I found out all the way back to like George Washington ages. Hemp was a major commodity. Major, like our American flags were made with hemp. So it's big. In parts of early America, hemp was used as legal tender, and they used hemp to pay for their taxes. So that was big. But the other cool thing is that hemp can grow nearly anywhere in the world. So that was a little bit about hemp. Now, a lot of people have a misconception about hemp versus marijuana, right? And cannabis plants contain a unique compound called cannabinoids. Current research has revealed over 85% different cannabinoids so far, but CBD and THC are most well known. THC is credited with causing the marijuana high. While marijuana plants contain high levels of THC, hemp contains very little of the psychoactive chemical. And this is the single difference that is what most rely on to distinguish the difference between hemp and marijuana. So moving on, cannabis and CBD, okay? Cannabis, excuse me, I need to get a drink of water. Cannabis is, in general, is packed with an array of special healing phytocannabinoids. Again, like I said, which there are over 85 different types, depending on which strain you. Each phytocannabinoid offers its own unique therapeutic effect. Again, the two most well-known cannabinoids are phytocannabinoids are THC and CBD. But there are so many others called CBD, CBG, and CBN. So when cannabis is consumed, cannabinoids bind to the receptor sites throughout the brain called CB1 and the body called CB2. Now, when you go to www.cboiltomydoor.com and you register, you'll actually get a download from me that actually shows how CBD and cannabis helps those cannabinoids with each part of the body. So that's one of the free gifts that I have for you today for listening and for registering at my website. So thank you so much again for being here. So you may say, well, that's great, Tiffany, but what's a cannabinoid? So cannabinoids are a chemical compound which activate the cannabinoid receptors found throughout our bodies. Like I said before, the CB1 is for the brain and the CB2 is the body. Phytocannabinoids are natural forms of these chemicals found in the highest concentrates of cannabis. Again, like I said, there's 85 plus different cannabinoids identified and isolated from different cannabis strains. Each has an influence on the body's endocannabinoid system. The following, I'm going to tell you some definitions of cannabinoids that I got from the company named Steep Hill. And these are some of the beneficial compounds found in our world's purest full-spectrum CBD oil. So the first one I want to talk about is CBD, cannabidiol. Now, cannabidiol is non-psychoactive in that it doesn't produce euphoria, time dilation, or anxiety normally produced in THC. And it has been shown to be extremely valuable in the treatment of seizure disorders. Its lack of psychoactivity makes it ideal for treating children, elderly, and patients that prefer to remain clear-headed and focused. CBD has also been helpful for lowering blood sugar and has a very calming effect. The one thing that I have noticed is it's useful for treatment in stress-related disorders and sleep loss. Ever since I have been taking our full-spectrum CBD oil, I have been able to sleep so much better, which allows me to wake up refreshed and excited for the day. I can't tell you what that has meant to me to be able to have a full night's sleep. And a lot of my clients are feeling the same effects. So another cannabinoid that is in our oils is called CBC, which is cannabichromamine. And I probably messed that up, but please forgive me. I'm not an English major, so that's why I became a life coach. Anyways, cannabichromamine is a non-psychoactive and has been shown to be about 10 times more effective than CBD in treating anxiety and stress. It also displays its efficacy in treating inflammation, pain relief, and is both antiviral and anti-tumor. CBC has been shown to stimulate the growth of bone tissue. Another cannabinoid that is in our full-spectrum oils called CBG, cannabigerol, is a non-psychoactive and has been shown to stimulate growth in new brain cells, including in the elderly, and it's shown to be noted that genuinely neurotic compounds are extremely rare. CBG also stimulates bone growth, is antibacterial and anti-tumor, and also combats insomnia. So you can see that we have major cannabinoids that are going into our full-spectrum oil that help you in numerous ways your body work correctly to help heal itself. Now, along with all of those cannabinoids, we also have terpenes. Terpenes are a chemical that gives the cannabis plant its unique scent. Even in tiny amounts, terpenes work extremely well with cannabinoids to heal the body. And here, also in our full-spectrum CBD oil, are some of the well-known terpenes that we have. Limonene. Limonene is a stress reliever that also helps boost your mood, and you can rely on it to assist in gastric flux issues, which I have definitely noticed. Pinene could potentially improve your memory, boost alertness, and is also anti-inflammatory, which I have noticed, like I said before, since taking this CBD oil, I have noticed that I have more energy, I'm more alert, I'm more focused, I'm able to allow my body to function correctly. Now, linalool has a sedative effect that works to help patients with depression, insomnia, and stress. One of the other terpenes in our full-spectrum CBD oil is caryophyllene. This terpene is an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory that helps relieve symptoms of pain and is also useful against insomnia. And one last one is humulene, another pain-relieving terpene which has antibacterial properties and also works, ding, 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 as an appetite suppressant. Who doesn't want that? So, at least I do, I should say. You know, maybe there's not everybody, but, you know, I had to throw some humor in there, guys. So, our full-spectrum CBD oil also contains numerous vitamins and minerals. It contains A, C, and E, along with a complex B vitamins such as niacin, riboflavin, and thiamine. An increasing number of people don't consume enough beta-carotene, but it is abundant in our full-spectrum oil. Crucial minerals contained in this oil also include zinc, potassium, iron, calcium, and phosphorus. So do you see how taking an additional dietary supplement can really increase the healing of your body to allow your body to heal itself? So your body also needs essential fats and proteins. And if all of the above wasn't enough, our full-spectrum CBD oil contains 20 amino acids, including 9 essential ones. Essential fatty acids such as omega-3 and omega-6, which help promote better health and are included in the optimal 3-to-1 ratio. Hemp oil is even a good source of protein, which helps and repairs tissues. It's amazing how one little plant has so many beneficial qualities. I'm simply amazed every time I turn around what I learn. Now, you might say, well, that's great, Tiffany, all of this information about how your CBD oil works in the body and all of that, or how all of the components that your oil has, but how does it interact with the body? Now, all of the 85-plus cannabinoids unique to the cannabis plant interact with our bodies, thanks to the neurons called the endocannabinoid system. The endocannabinoid system runs throughout your entire body, and it's loaded with receptors that bind to the cannabinoids you introduce into your bloodstream when you consume cannabis or CBD. And it's chemical interactions of those bonds that create a large series of responses in your body. You can almost say that human beings are hardwired for cannabis. The endocannabinoid system runs deep and touches all major systems of the body. And that's why cannabis can do so many things for us, from improving and regulating moods to stimulating appetites and reducing pain. Okay, so to put things simply as possible, because I don't know about you, but all this scientific talk has kind of made my eyes roll back in my head. So to put it simply, CBD makes things happen. When it binds to the endocannabinoid systems receptors, it stimulates all kinds of changes in the body, all kinds of good changes in the body. The changes are incredibly beneficial, and researchers keep uncovering real and potential medical uses for them. Now, I encourage you, do your own research. If you want to know more, go to PubMed and type in CBD. You will be amazed all of the plethora of information that is out there for you. So I encourage you to do that. Don't just take my word for it. Because I am like you, am learning each and every day how this plant can help my body learn to heal itself. So the endogenous cannabinoid system, the ECS, is one of the most physiological systems involved in establishing and maintaining human health. Endocannabinoids and their receptors, like I said, the CB1 for the brain and the CB2 for the body, are found throughout the entire the body, the brain, the organs, connective tissue, glands, immune cells. In each tissue, the ECS performs different tasks with the same goal of maintaining homeostasis. The maintenance of a stable internal environment, despite all of the fluctuations that we have in our external environment. Now, my wonderful, wonderful, amazing leader, Melissa, is going to chime in right now and talk about how CBD and homeostasis has how they work together and how CBD has changed her life as it has changed mine. So, Melissa, thank you so much again for being on this call and being on this amazing, amazing journey with me. So thank you so much for your definition of this.
Thank you, Tiffany. You know, everything that you said, even though I know it all, it continues to amaze me how such a small plant can make such a big impact on people. Now, you were talking about homeostasis, and let's get down to it. I'm going to try to break this down as simple as possible and not to use more, I'll use more layman terms than medical terms so you guys can understand it. But homeostasis refers to a process or reaction that our body utilizes actively to maintain a constant internal environment. So in case to remain a balance that's necessary for us to survive. It controls our system throughout our bodies, and it will adjust different levels in our system, such as our oxygen levels, our hydration, our temperature, our internal thermometer, to make sure that we stay in a balance. We're supposed to be at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, in the U.S., and that internalizes and keeps us at a balance. But sometimes if we get overheated, we will start sweating, and that means our internal temperature got a little too high. Or let's go to the opposite. When we get too cold, our body starts to create goosebumps or we shiver, and that's our body trying to regulate to get our body balanced. So balancing means homeostasis on the inside. So in efforts to maintain homeostasis in our body, we have to look a little further into our cannabinoid system, and that's where we're getting our regulation. And now let me just tell you, to survive and to grow and to function as a human, we must establish a stable environment inside our body. If we can't stabilize our body, then our equilibrium will go off balance. It means you'll get dizzy. You can have symptoms such as minor as headaches or as major diseases such as cancer. So it's so important to remain in a level body system. Let me throw out a few more diseases, and it might just trigger something for you. Diseases such as arthritis, epilepsy, stroke, obesity, Alzheimer's disease, cancer, glaucoma. Those are some conditions that have been linked to loss of balance. So whether or not the body is able to adjust or not effectively to maintain homeostasis, it's most likely that this disease will develop unless you have something inside your body to help you create that constant balance. Now, the cannabinoid system that we have in place actually will regulate the chemistry inside our system, which will also include pain management, our immune response, our appetite, as you suggested, with all of those ladies are watching our figures, energy regulation, mood, memory. Those are just some functions that the endocannabinoid system carries for us. And so if you take a supplement for CBD, it will help maintain a balance in your body. The greatest thing is when you talked about the CBD1 receptors and CBD2 receptors in our system, it detects an imbalance in our body, and it starts triggering signals. When we take a supplement, those signals will be fed, and then they will create a balance in our body. It's amazing. It's a natural process that we can take every day and to keep everything in balance. I don't want to go into too much details, but I do want to tell you one thing that has really surprised me, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story of why I got involved with CBD. I've been in internal medicine for 30 years, and I've been taking care of people. And I used to think that I was in the healthcare system, but I hadn't been. I've been in the sick care because I've always treated the symptoms. And Tiffany touched base on we treat symptoms. That's what we were taught in the medical field during, med school. You treat symptoms with pharmaceuticals. But for the last 10 years, I have been working more on the holistic side. And the reason so is because I knew that if I was taking a synthetic drug, it was going to mask the problem that was happening and create another problem for myself. So let me tell you a little bit about why I chose to start CBD. I had played soccer in college, and I had tore ligaments. I broke my patella, and I had some chronic knee issues that I didn't want to get into any opioids, but just try to do the Advil or the Motrin and any type of anti-inflammatory to help treat my symptoms. And it just wasn't touching it, and I knew I needed something stronger. And I had researched, I tried several brands until I received the brand that I'm using now, and it's a full spectrum oil. And once I started taking this oil, my chronic knee pain, now of course I'm 50 now, and so you can imagine I played soccer in college, so that's many years ago, that kept creeping up, this pain. It was so intolerable that I didn't even want to walk stairs anymore because it just hurt so much. So I started taking this full spectrum oil, and within a couple of hours, just the touch, the inflammation pain was completely gone. I was kind of blown away. I kept thinking, is this really happening? And then the next thing that was happening is that the pain every day was subsiding. And as long as I took my natural oil, which created homeostasis, which removed the inflammation out of my system, which also removed the pain, I was living a normal functioning life. I'm going to back this up a little bit further, not just from, or I should back it up 25 years now. I had my second child, and I ended up having a problem with my lungs, and I received fibrosis of the lungs during pregnancy, and they actually wanted to terminate my child, and he was 4 months inside me. I was like, no way. And so instead of doing that, I said, I'll just live with whatever happens. Well, it was a possibility that I would make it through long-term, my pregnancy, which actually I did, which was a good thing. But I ended up losing my right lung. It stopped functioning, and I was put on prednisone, 80 milligrams every single day for 25 years, plus a plethora of different inhalers and other steroid inhalers and cough syrups. You name it. I had so many medications. Just routinely, it would take me about 10 minutes to get through that before I could start my day. So I initially started the CBD oil for my chronic knee pain. A little bit to my surprise, by my 10th month of taking this oil, I was off all my pharmaceuticals. That included just taking it for my pain, but for my breathing. My breathing was able to function naturally. My lung, which is not supposed to be possible, is now functioning. And it's not functioning at 100%, but it's functioning about 65%, which should never even be functioning. So the body can heal itself with proper nutrients. And this oil has proper nutrients in it to help our body function as complete as it can. I'm amazed. I feel so indebted to having this oil in my life because, it's given me life back. I have 6 kids. I have 2 grandchildren. One actually is here today with me, sitting in my office, being so patient, or looking at her iPad. But it's amazing that I'm able to do normal things, which, 25 years ago I wasn't able to. And because of the oil, it's allowed me to be able to live my life as full as I can. And, I'm so excited. I love sharing my story. I love educating people on how the CBD oil works in our system. And I get to team up with brilliant people like Tiffany. And Tiffany, I want to thank you both for letting me share my story and let me chime in with you during your podcast. It's great to see you grow and learn more things, and it's fantastic that we're able to educate the world of alternative supplements out there that are great for our body. So I'm going to give it right back to you, Tiffany, and thank you so much again.
Oh, Melissa, wonderful. And, your story never ceases to amaze me. The fact that when you told me that you went back to the doctor and they kept running tests because you were noticing that you were able to breathe better, I was simply amazed. And then this last test that you just did, and they said that you had 65% when you were never, ever supposed to have function again, just proves, it drives the point home that when you feed your body the right nutrients and when you take care of yourself, massive, amazing things happen.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your expertise on homeostasis and how it all works. I truly appreciate everything you do and everything you do for our team. So thank you very, very much.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
And Melissa, before you leave, this is Claudia. Of course, you can tell by my accent. Before you leave, before we started on air, I was telling Tiffany about a friend of mine who has a child, a boy, with sickle cell disease. And I was wondering, from your medical point of view, someone with sickle cell disease, would this CBD oil help them? And how do you see that happening?
Well, to be honest with you, the CBD actually helps with almost every single disease out there because it does cover the immune system. It does cover the central nerve system. So sickle cell is abnormal cells in the system. And the greatest thing about CBD is it goes into the cell and feeds it nutrients. If it spots an abnormal cell, it kicks it out and it feeds the cell that they just put in there full of nutrients. So it's how you eat, how you drink, your environment that you're around, everything, exercise, all that is part of and healing. I'm not going to say it's going to stop someone from having sickle cell, but I'm going to tell you it changes the blood cells from abnormal to normal by feeding it nutrients. So there's definitely promise there for your friend, and I'm assuming that your friend is either European or it doesn't really affect a white gender. So I'm assuming it's some European or some sort of background there that they have going on. And believe it or not, we can get this plant and get this nutrient into their system, and they're going to feel 100% better than what they normally have felt, with normal routine pharmaceuticals in their system.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So,
wow.
Tiffany, let's go back with something that you said. Well, I live in North Carolina and you live in California. But you said that CBD oil is legal all around the USA. Is that correct?
That is correct. We can ship into all 50 states. That is correct. So when you go to mycbdoil.com, you will actually go to a page that is about me, and so you can find out more about me. And on the bottom of that page will be a link to the ordering website, and all of it actually, just like my website says, CBD